What is operant conditioning? Operant conditioning, also known as instrumental conditioning, is a type of learning that occurs through reward and punishment. Through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequence for the behavior. For example, when a lab rat presses a blue button, he receives a food as a reward. But when he presses a red button, he receives an electric shock. Not just something like take places in experimental setting. He also plays a powerful role in everyday learning. Reinforcement and punishment take place almost every day in natural setting, as well as more structured settings such as the classroom or therapy session. History of operant conditioning. By behaviorist B.F. Skinner. Skinner believed that it was not really necessary to look at internal thoughts and motivation in order to explain behavior. We should look only at external, observable causes of human behavior. Active behavior that operates upon the environment to generate consequences. Famous practitioner includes John B. Watson. Operant conditioning relies on a very simple idea. Action that are followed by reinforcement will be strength and more likely to occur again in the future. Types of behavior. Respondent behaviors are those that occur automatically and reflexively, such as pulling your hand back from a hot stove. Operant behaviors, on the other hand, are those under our conscious control. Components of operant conditioning. Positive reinforcement are favorable events or outcomes that are present after the behavior. Negative reinforcer involve the removal or an unfavorable event or outcomes after the display of a behavior. In both of these cases of reinforcement, the behavior increases. Punishment in operant conditioning causes a decrease in behavior. Positive punishment, sometimes referred to as punishment by application, present and a favorable event or outcome in order to weaken the response. Negative punishment, also known as punishment by removal, occurs when a favorable event or outcome is removed after behavior occurs. In both of these cases of punishment, the behavior decreases. Reinforcement schedule. When and how often behaviors were reinforced play a role in the speed and strength of acquisition. Different schedules of reinforcement. Continuous reinforcement involves delivery reinforcement every time a response occurs. Fixed ratio schedule, fixed interval schedule, variable ratio schedule, variable interval schedules. Classical conditioning. Classical conditioning, also known as classical conditioning. Two stimuli are linked together to produce a new learned response in a person or animal. There are 3 stages of classical conditioning. At each stage, the stimuli and responses are given special scientific terms. Stage 1. Before conditioning. In this stage, the unconditional stimulus, UCS, produce an unconditioned response, UCR, in the organism. For example, a stomach virus, which produces a response UCR. In another example, a perfume will create a response of happiness or desire. Stage 2. During conditioning. During this stage, a stimulus which produces no response, neutral, is associated with unconditional stimulus, at which point it now becomes known as conditional stimulus. The conditional stimulus should occur before unconditional stimulus rather than after that or during the same time. Therefore, the conditioned stimulus acts as a type of signal or cue for unconditional stimulus. After conditioning, now the conditioned stimulus CS has been associated with unconditioned stimulus to create a new conditioned response. So what you're saying is a strength of classical conditioning theory is that it is scientific. This is because it is based on evidence carried out by controlled experience. Operant conditioning as something you may immediately recognize in your own life, whether it is in your approach to teach your children good behavior or in training a family dog to stop chewing on your favorite slippers. Thank you.